blockchain, even blockchain is very revolutionary, but it's still a small group thing. So, welcome to the blockchain, smart contract, and fintech forum. And today we have a great panel. Aldo is the Commerce co-founder and CEO, and Tofi is the CEO of PricingShare.com. Would you like to introduce yourself more?
Sure. Hi, my name is Aldo Carrascoso. I'm the founder and CTO of Align Commerce. So Align Commerce is, we're replacing traditional bank wire transfers, and we're actually a competitor to Swift. So what we're trying to do is we're the first company that ever did fiat-to-fiat payments over the blockchain. So we did that over 3-4 years ago. And we are the world's largest processor of B2B payments on the blockchain right now, no matter what anyone tells you. So our lead investors include Planet Perkins, like the biggest fund we just raised a number of newer funds with newer names, but we haven't announced that yet, but they're the largest in China, the largest in Japan, the largest in Australia, and Korea. So I've been with the blockchain for ever since no one even knew what the blockchain was. I started when I don't know if you guys know Charlie Schrems. Okay. He was the first indictment. So the first indictment ever for money laundering. So we started before him. So I've been doing this for a very long time.
My name is Tufi Saliba, and I'm the CEO of Privacy Shell. Privacy Shell is a startup factory that relies heavily on blockchain technology because we believe in privacy and security by design. We feel centralizing something that is decentralized, like the blockchain can enable that, so we don't have to have a third party to rely on when we're actually doing certain design on software. We started with the product can become a company if it has its own team, then it has its own revenue, then we cannot let it go and launch it. So that's basically the model that we have. Many of the companies we're working on struggle with the scalability of existing blockchain technology. I'm not sure if you guys are aware. Current blockchain doesn't scale that well. So scalability is issue number one. Cost of transaction, and when we say cost, it's more cost of unit is issue number two. So we have another company, it's called Tora, and maybe it's a protocol that started as a Tora protocol that we built from the ground up, and it became a company called Tora Pro. And that's super exciting. That's what I'm going to be here today.
Before we jump into the topic, so we'll have a quick survey. So how many of you have knowledge about blockchain? The idea behind blockchain? 50%. Okay. So blockchain. So some people said that blockchain is a revolutionary technology. It's gonna change the world, and the other people say it's just another thing. It's one thing of those things. So maybe from today's panel, you will have your own answer of that. So I have a few questions about that, because in the past 1 or 2 years, the blockchain is the buzzwords. Blockchain, smart contract, DAO, Bitcoin. So can you show the big picture of the development of blockchain and smart contract by today? How the big companies and startups are working on what blockchain technology is changing, which industries, like payment, banking. It's just a high-level introduction.
I'll take that. Sure. I can give you a history of the blockchain. So as I said, when we started this was after TradeHill, one of the first Bitcoin exchanges. And then Silk Road was the time. If you don't know what Silk Road is, these are all pre-blockchain. These are all actually pre-mainstream blockchain, where everyone was talking about just the currency. called Bitcoin, right? And then when we started the company, it was impossible to get a bank account. It took us 9 months to get a bank account. So we were going into, we were a payment processor with no banks. So it was very hard. So, it took us a while to prove to people that we had a compliance program, a risk program, and we were not using Bitcoin to transmit funds. We were also the only company back then that was saying it's about the blockchain, it's about the ledger, it's about the mathematics or the proof or smart contract rather than Bitcoin. But at that time, we were less than 1% actually. We were the only guys pitching about the blockchain. Fast forward 1 year, 1 or 2 years, this whole new concept of the blockchain, that's when probably a bunch of the Bitcoin companies hacked Mt. Gox, and then you're looking at hacking Bitstamp. That's, I think, the turning point. Bitstamp is probably one of the world's largest Bitcoin exchanges. And then you started hearing this guy named Vitalik Buterin. He's basically the founder and chief developer of Ethereum. So Ethereum happened on the coattails of Bitcoin. Ethereum now said, you know what? This is about the protocol. And then when Ethereum came up, there was this company actually. They've always been around. They're called Ripple. This is another blockchain protocol type company that was going into mainstream. And then banks started looking at these different implementations. A core group of people stayed with Bitcoin. These were the people who liked the currency. These were the people that essentially, they loved the currency. They loved trading. They were also sometimes anarchists when you talk to them. And then there was this new group of people where we were one of the first that basically said it's about blockchain. And then IBM came in, Microsoft came in, Hyperledger came in, and the Linux Foundation. And because of that, essentially you develop a newer, more centralized, better technology, interested crowd. And that's what you have. So now, when we were looking at the blockchain, there wasn't any news about it. Like, I remember there was like one bank was interested in it, and I would see the news every 8 months. Now it's, then it became every 3 months, and then it became every month, and now it's every single day a new bank is doing something with the blockchain. So it's, it's actually a very good thing. And then, of course, there's the DAO. This whole controversial concept of the DAO, which is basically a decentralized autonomous organization. What it is, basically, it's like a company, or more like the DAO is like an investment vehicle where people vote on it. That's all it is. So it's like a VC fund with no general partners. And then you can vote where you want to put your money. And then that's where we are now. Now it's a lot of people are very interested in this whole blockchain concept because it can provide both the bottom line and top line profit.
Yeah. So my experience with blockchain has been a little bit different. I kind of see that at the beginning it started more like as a threat, which kind of like there's some intersection with what you've mentioned. A lot of anarchists out there, a lot of people that they just they're anarchists because they don't want to be in anything else. And it's just for that reason, it's just you feel that a lot of people start defending opposition and calling Bitcoin the drug money, and calling taking anything that is negative news and amplifying it. We took a different approach where we felt like people are much more inclined to go towards something that is like an opportunity and not necessarily a threat. People are not going to embrace a threat, they're going to defend themselves against threat, and if you were to be any specific company that you feel that there's something that could be threatening your existence, you're just going to defend it, and that's how you protect your shareholders. So instead we decided to look into where's the opportunity in using blockchain. And when every time we're digging deep into the opportunity, we notice that it actually slowed down. In 2015, a lot of investment went to the blockchain. In 2016, it was expected to be, 10 times more. It was to be the trend. It was to be the next big thing. It would be like 10 times more. It was actually less than 2015. Now the reason for that was the scalability. It wasn't regulatory. Like they tried to blame it on, oh well, the government, they don't want it, it's not supported. It's not that. It's just actually, it doesn't scale. In fact, globally, the largest blockchain that is out there is called Bitcoin, and it only runs 7 transactions per second. Following its own consensus. Now there are a lot of other ways to make it to run more, but it's not following its own consensus. So that's not something that can scale. When you look at Ethereum is quite exciting actually, and we got it from Toronto, and it started in Toronto, and it was quite close to that. It's just, you can write codes into the blockchain, which is quite exciting from that perspective, but again, it doesn't scale because it uses the same protocol that was designed to service, services it's now and doing something else completely. We decided to search around and try to find something that can scale while still maintain the actual decentralized aspect of it. Decentralization is extremely important. As soon as you take it away, we don't have anything that's called blockchain that's meaningful. If it's centralized, it's not as meaningful as it could be when it's decentralized. That's an opportunity. So this is when we started building our own protocol, which is called TORA, that can scale. We started looking into how we can bring in for microtransactions. We felt that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity out there. We put it in front of people and see that, okay, this is how they can make $1 is $5 this year, $50 a year after, and make the world a better place, and get closer towards prosperity. That is an opportunity and a good for all of us. So keep focusing on the opportunity, and we'll get there. And I think what you guys are doing can help tremendously because it can bridge that gap between the developed world and the emerging market. Because people need to send money to each other, and we don't do that. So there's synergies there.
There's a lot of words like Ethereum, Hyperledger, DAO. So if you don't know that, I'm going to ask a question for the panel to use use case or real scenario. So to compare how the using blockchain technology with current solution, what's the benefit of blockchain and what's the downside of blockchain? So that will give you an example how.
You want to start? Okay. I'll start talking about one of our companies that is called FinaSafe. It started with a project that was responding to investment bankers who were working on a specific deal. They sit in a room before they start emailing each other, and they changed the name of the company. They merged another company, so they call one company Sugar, another one called Honey, and it's called Sugar. Smith Sugar and Honey, and they never used the name of the company ever again in their email communication, in their documents, and so forth, because they just don't trust their administrators that look at their email. They don't trust the existing encryption that is out there for them, that is provided by their company, because there's some master administrator somewhere that can actually look at the stuff. So at the time, we don't try to retrofit solutions that use blockchain, try to use it if it's available there for us, it can help us. So at the time we started looking at a solution of how we can actually take an email company or a transaction that, again, because it doesn't scale, so you can't use that. So then we decided to have each and every user's public key can be provided by the blockchain, managed by the blockchain, in series of that. And the private key can serve that in your machine. So right now you're not relying on a third-party company, and it's out there in the blockchain that is managed by the consensus mechanism. And then it's not dependent on specific blockchain, it can be many different blockchains. Sometimes use a spiral blockchains. So that's one use case that seems to make a lot of sense technologically. And people can secure their email communication. Whatever email you can secure it using FileSafe. Google won't have access to it, Microsoft won't have access to it, use Microsoft. And it will encrypt the content of your email, and you rely on the third, not third party, it's on the blockchain, which is replacing that third party. So it's between you and the other people that you're emailing, you know, that email is safe and secure. So that's not finance related at all, and it's using the blockchain for certain, you know, that's use case.
Perfect. For cross-border payments, let's say you're sending money from the Philippines to China. It would usually cost you $50 to send it, and the Chinese counterparties or the manufacturers in China would probably take a $20 hit, for example, and it would maybe take 4 days. Using a line, let's say you need to send $100,000 to China, you could initiate the transaction right now at 12 noon. Your Chinese counterparties will receive it at 2 p.m. and they will receive the exact amount, $100,000. No transaction fee. So, and instead of 4 days, we made it 4 minutes. So there's clear advantage in using. Align actually uses something called multi-rail. So multi-rail is, if you think about it, it's not blockchain. Multi-rail is one of, what it does is it's a path of least resistance. When you go to a certain destination, for example, let's say you want to go to, if I want to go to Hong Kong right now, I can either choose to take a plane, I can choose to take a boat, right? Or some people might choose to swim, right? Multi-rail basically, or the choice of the route gets you to your destination faster and cheaper. So for a line, we said, we need to develop a money routing mechanism that will allow us to deliver payments in a much cheaper, faster way that is agnostic to whatever rail it is. So we can use Ethereum, we use Ethereum, we use Ripple, we use Bitcoin blockchain, we have a permission ledger, we have a depermission ledger, we have a garden ledger. And dependent on the corridor, currency, and the reverse flows, the algorithms will find the path of least resistance, which is cheaper and safer. So now, let's say we have overseas foreign workers that work in the United States, and they need to send money to their families in the Philippines. So imagine what they do, right? They have to go to a bank, they have to buy Philippine pesos. And let's say they need to send 50,000 Philippine pesos. It would cost them around $1,100 US. Using a line for the same 50,000 pesos, they would pay us $1,000. So almost a 10% savings. And they could actually send the payments in real time. You send the payment now, when your relatives wake up in the morning, the funds are deposited in a bank account. So people often ask us, PayPal is faster than you. Yes, PayPal is definitely faster than a line. But try to withdraw your funds from PayPal. It will take you a week. For us, bank to bank in real time. That's why. So we use different protocols. That's why I was interested in asking you about what Total can do, because as Chief Technology Officer, it's very important for me to know the best route. Sometimes we even use Treasury. Sometimes we can use the Bitcoin blockchain. We use all of these things. So that's a real benefit. That's probably why we're probably one of the trailblazers from the blockchain, because a lot of companies actually form blockchain companies, and a lot of them only reach up until the proof of concept point. That's when you've proven that it works, but they're never able to commercialize it because there's no business model, there's no revenue model, and it was, it's all technology. For us, I think we've proven the whole thing. That's why we're in 60 countries already. So we've expanded to 60 countries, and another use case I like that's not in fintech is called, I don't know if you know Chronicle. There's a company called Chronicle. What Chronicle does, it's proof of ownership. So they have shoes. They put tags in the shoes to make sure. So they're second market, high value Nike shoes. So These are, there are a tremendous amount of forgeries in the market. What these guys have done, they put chips inside the shoes. The chips are committed on the blockchain, showing an immutable proof of ownership, which is pretty cool, because now you can prove ownership on a ledger that doesn't change. So these are like the
Also, luxury goods.
yeah.
Identify is authentic.
Mhm.
So for the payment example, so you said that airline will save time, save money, low cost, secure. So if I'm the big bank or people, I'm gonna afraid. So what are those big companies doing? Because a lot of startups are using blockchain to do payment. So the big institutions are doing in the blockchain side.
So
like Swift or
for us, our real competitors are not the banks. Our real competitors are the correspondent banks. So you guys know the difference between correspondent banking and retail banking. The correspondent banking, basically, networks allow banks from different countries to connect with each other because they do something called the loss repository, or the rebalancing of account. So banks like HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Chase, these are global correspondent banks. So they make money by foreign exchange, by having fees every time. Because when you send money, let's say to China, you have to go through 4 or 5 banks. So it's not let's say Wells Fargo to Ping An Bank. It's not. There's no direct relationship. You have to go through Chase here, and then you have to go through HSBC on the Chinese side. And essentially, every time you go through something, there's a cut. So what we've done is we've removed all of those guys. So actually, we became such a threat to the banks that they decided to invest in us. So we have 2 public banks that have invested in us, and there are a lot of other banks in the private side that have also put in money. And they're all non-correspondent banks. Correspondent banks will not like us because we're replacing their business. Swift, they have their own implementation of a hyperledger-like real-time cross settlement systems. I don't know what's happening to it, but I think it's there's a saying: all rising tides lift all boats. So it's good that they're actually looking at it, and yeah.
So we have a Q&A session at the end of the panel. So now if you have a question, you can raise your hand, ask anytime.
This is going to be a serious question.
So my question is, some countries, like China right now, they have capital control.
Absolutely.
So if you want to, for example, because all your examples is about send money from US to Philippines, not mentioning about send money from China to US. So if you have capital control, so do you need to cooperate with the government, or is that if there is a capital control, so the regulations?
That's my job, actually. We are the first company that's going to be able to take funds out from China, readily out. So we have, yes, we will be the first. We actually have, that's why our biggest investor in China has set that all up. We're talking to regulators right now. We're very, very compliant. We'll make a big announcement about sending funds out. So we're going to be out. Wow. Right? It's almost impossible to do that. But we'll only be able to do it for businesses. We cannot do it for individuals. It has to be for a business, for a goods or service. Let's say, because I know that the Chinese premier wants China to be an innovation center. So this is good because as an innovation center, you need to start sending payments out, not just receiving payments in. So I think we're using that main thing, basically that, and then now we have 2 banks in China. I mentioned one of them. That will allow us to send funds out. So it's extremely difficult because of capital controls. So it goes through a lot of process, but I understand no matter how difficult it is for us when we offer that service, because it's almost impossible for you to do it, right? So we'll be the first.
And you can't do a personal yet.
No, we don't want to do personal because, big global GDP, $25 trillion industry. Global remittance, or C2C, 1 trillion. We want to go for the 25 larger segment. So why would I go for individuals, right? So we go for the larger $25 trillion industry, which is global B2B. So we will never do C2C. It's to KYC, know your customer. Compliance, it's a headache. For businesses, it's easier. We're looking at 600 databases. We have automated checks. We have machine learning that basically understands risk scores, verification checks. I know because I built it. So it's easier to verify business.
It's easy to do the anti-money laundering, know your customer, those regulations to business, right? Not for the single individuals. So for Tofi's example about the blockchain, so I think it's related with the decentralized governance or decentralized computing. And so that's a major feature of blockchain. So can you talk more about the
Yeah. So a lot of people confuse distributed and decentralized. The existing blockchain that you find it out there, sometimes it's partially decentralized, but it's not distributed. It's called distributed ledger. It's not really distributed. It's actually replicated ledger. In order to benefit from the distributed nature of computing, you need to have something that is by design that is distributed. And that's how you're able to scale. And so that's one of the things that Tora does that is different than any other protocol that is out there. That is distributed, by design, and will continue to be distributed. Now, when it comes to decentralized is never 1 or 0. It's always between 1 and the number of devices that you have. What's the range of decentralization that you can attain? And it's also designed in a way that it can attain the maximum amount of decentralization. With decentralization comes strong governance. With strong governance, then you can rely on system to scale without having to fear for certain, government to change something to impact people. So, for example, when I do business with Zimbabwe today, you can't. You pretty much, you need to have some sort of shady deal with somebody in the government in order to do a deal with the government. And if you are a legitimate person and public company to report what you're doing, it becomes very difficult. Finding a way to actually get to Zimbabwe is via their smartphone. They already have that. They have home computers. So the computers are already there ahead of us. And if the computers are doing the work for you in a way that's decentralized, then you know that the consensus is maintained and you're able to attain any corner in the world that has a computer or phone to provide the business that you need to get to. And that's what I think the actual opportunity lies. There are about 2.5 billion smartphones that are unbanked. These guys, they just have no banking account to do any wire transfer or anything like that, or to receive money. And that's the market that we're going after with Tora because of the nature of the decentralization and the distributed.
famous one, the DAO. So they do crowdfunding and the Bitcoin was stolen. So how do you see the future of
The
future of DAO?
So the DAO is I don't know, who knows what the DAO is? Okay, the DAO is a decentralized, autonomous organization. So that is a blockchain concept. What you're referring to is a hack on an implementation of the DAO called the DAO.
It's the smart contract.
Yes. So essentially, I was mentioning earlier that the DAO was they crowdfunded. They asked people, we're trying to raise money, so you could we could choose one of these days to invest this money somewhere, and I'll give you dividends via Ether. So what happened was, this company from Germany created an implementation of the DAO, wherein I think they hurried it up, and this hacker was able to siphon out $50 million. Now, what's interesting about that is, you know what, there were two reasons. First reason was the code was poor. Poor code. I'm a developer, and no code is 100% secure. And this one, but I didn't audit it. I don't even think it's PCI DSS compliant. But they didn't expect to get $150 million in funding. They did not expect that. So the second one is, do you know what prevented the DAO from stopping the attack? So the DAO runs on something called consensus. Consensus is when majority of the people who contributed to the DAO say yes. So they actually found out about the hack when they were around $2 million. Why did it reach to 50 million? Because the DAO worked so well. Do you understand that? They could not get consensus to stop the hack. So it's a good proof that a smart contract can work. But you see, it took a while for all the participants to say stop the hack.
It's very interesting. What you mentioned is true in many of the academics we're working on today. They use examples of assassin. Not that you're building the smart contract to assassin people, but you want to make it prove in a way that you can put a bounty. If you put like money on somebody to get assassinated, then nobody can stop it. And if you can get to that, then you know that it is immutable. So that's how strong it is that you can build something that you can't have anybody to stop it. But currently, like with the DAO, it's worked on another rest of history. So anything that is blockchain today is the governance is between miners. There are a bunch of servers that are running across, and people, they call it miners and not miners in the age. They're miners that are mining for gold in a bunch of servers. And the coders are actually running it, and if they agree to fork something, they can fork it, and forking means that they decide to take it as illegal and leaving the rest behind. So that they have to do that in order to prevent the thief from running away with the money. In that event, ended up having two Ethereum design, and there still exists. So Ethereum Classic is the original one, and then the other Ethereum afterwards. So that's weakness in the governance. So some people, they even they felt it's like, if you write a contract that is poor and somebody steals money from it, then let it be. It's kind of like in the world that we live in today. If you have a contract with somebody, let's say your bank, and then your bank would come and say like, well, you know what, we're going to take half of your business because the contract here says clause and so on and so on. So you go to the judge, they're able to take half your business. So that's not necessarily hack is something that like you didn't pay attention to in your contract. So from that perspective, a lot of people, they feel that it should have maintained, the immutability that it had before, and not have to fork just because somebody was able to steal money from one contract. It's like you change the entire alphabet because you don't like a certain, paragraph in the book.
Ask a question about so what do you see the opportunity for like entrepreneurs in the blockchain or smart contract direction? I mean, if I'm an entrepreneur, I want to do something related with blockchain. So
I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity in the emerging markets. Because a lot of people, they have smartphones, but they don't have access to banking, and a lot of people can start building apps that can empower banking using the Twitter protocol, for example. So I'm not really advertising for the Twitter protocol, but I'm just saying it's one out of many protocols. If you look at the differences between that and the others on the scale, if you you're doing it for microtransactions, it's ideal. If you want large transactions, you probably want something like Bitcoin. Because the total protocol ends up costing humanity 0.1% per transaction. So when you're buying a cup of coffee, it's perfect. If you're sending $1 million, you're better off sending with Bitcoin because Bitcoin is charged, it's going to cost you $5-10 anyway. But you don't want to pay $5-10 or have that cost of humanity when you're buying a cup of coffee. So there are a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs to build things for global distribution and put it on. It can go through telcos, it can go through manufacturers, it can go through, there's so many ways of distributing the actual apps into the equipment market, and then having a channel how you can make, tremendous amount of money.
So for me, it's machine learning and blockchain. Yes, essentially you can create a number of unstructured and structured ways of looking at the blockchain pattern. So if you actually look at, there was an implementation I was thinking about, it was called the smart payment. I created an AI, well, it's an ML model that would basically look at, it was the first version of a router, of the multi-rail. But right now, I've seen a number of models on GitHub. So do you guys know what machine learning models are? Essentially, they're algorithms that you train, that they become better in predicting outcomes. There is a very big requirement right now for Hyperledger to make a more predictive routing technology for the blockchain. And no one's working on it. No one's working on it. It could be. They're looking at bottom line, top line contributions, but that's one very important thing. It could be. It's not just one route, it could be multiple routes, even routing within nodes. You know how you disseminate information? Right now what they're doing is they're looking at the closest node via IP. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be closest node via network availability. So there are very important things that look at, and I bet you IBM will buy you. So that's machine learning. One is actually proof of ownership, which I really like. You use the blockchain to show that you own a specific thing. So art, there's a company in the Philippines that's actually working on art. So they want to put the blockchain, they want to put your painting on the blockchain, and they have. So they put, again, there's machine learning underneath this. So there's machine visioning. Behind the painting, interstate. They would get a public key of a Bitcoin transaction. They would machine vision the back in a number of points, and they would commit that small hash into the public Bitcoin blockchain, which will essentially allow them to prove that it's untampered. So they have this phone that you can scan the back of a painting with these dots. You know it's been there forever. So
if every single dot changes,
anything, because it would change basically the hash. Interesting, huh?
How did it change?
If you change the hash, then you don't own the. Of course, you can also damage it.
But you can copy that.
Actually, you can't, because it's actually going to look at the outside. So it looks at the. It's a quantatonic. I don't even know what they call it. A quantatonic expression that looks at changes in light, luminosity, movement. It's incredible IP actually. So ownership is interesting for me.
Sorry to interrupt, because we were late and I have lots of questions actually, but I don't know where to start. First, can you introduce yourself, like which company you work for? Do you explain?
You kind of came in late. we did that. We can do it again, I guess.
Yes, I'm so sorry about that, because we have some high school kids here, I'm trying to make them interested in your in this panel. And also, I think it's kind of hard to apply AI to finance. When you say machine learning, like you do deep learning, what kind of data do you use? What do you train?
Network latency, response times, pingbacks, savings in mining costs. There's a lot of data that you can use, and there are terabytes of it. Now more than ever. And you can actually do a cross-functional analysis with different blockchains. I mean, if I wasn't doing anything, I would do that. There's just a tremendous amount of data that you could train your models.
But actually, it's not for the end user, it's more for the transaction.
It's for IBM.
IBM, yeah, exactly.
It would be for IBM, it would be for Microsoft, it would be even for R3. We use it for R3. Because I developed something like this, but it wasn't a deep learning model. I wish I spent more time training the model to be more predictive. But yeah, our multi-rail runs on a predictive machine learning model that basically looks for it has an alpha. It even graded the safety of an exchange. I don't know, it had not gone at one time. Which, by the way, it predicted to stop routing to Mt. Gox. So we never used Mt. Gox during that time. So yes, I was working with not much data I got back in 3-4 years ago. Now, tremendous amounts of data. So yes, my name is Aldo Carrascoso. I'm the CEO, CTO, and the Chief Engineer of Align Commerce. So we are replacing wire transfers using the blockchain and multi-rail technology.
That's very impressive. So do you have a product we can use already? Like,
yes. We have a tremendous amount of flow into China. A lot of Chinese companies use us right now, maybe thousands.
You can use this product to take money out of China.
Well,
okay, that's what I'm thinking about.
only for B2B, and that's not public yet.
Yeah, because we do have we have a company in US, but we have branches in China. Like for example, if we have investors in China, they want to invest into our company, right? And then they often say, oh, do you want the renminbi or US dollars? And we say, okay, we will prefer both. But then the thing is, I don't know how they can transfer money from China to US. But what's the percentage do you charge though? I mean, how much?
No fees.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Then how do you make money then?
We have a routing and trading algorithm that basically makes money off whatever funds you do. And we do it in near real time.
Basically, every second time there's a transfer, he keeps the money.
No, we have no fees. So we are the largest.
What about institutions?
Sorry? Even better, 5 pips.
What's 5 pips?
5 cents. For renminbi, 5 cents. Maybe even 3 cents.
Yeah.
If it's Australian AUD, it's 0004.
So I think because most of Chinese people come to the $1, how much you would, how much I'm
So we match banks.
Yeah, right now is about 现在大概是0.3那样的，它是0.5。就是以前就是算法不一样嘛，是一个人只0.5个我还知道现在的汇率大概是0.3。
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure the exchange rate because I always convert the US dollars to Chinese money. So it's like
Well, we can deliver renminbi, we can deliver USD into China.
oh.
We can deliver both. We actually deliver more USD than renminbi to China. Yes. Yes.
So your company physical office is
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
We have 6 regional offices, 60 countries. We have 2 offices in the Bay Area, 1 in San Francisco, actually 2 in San Francisco, 1 in San Diego.
Yeah, I can find lots of customers for you.
You're going to be my new best friend.
Yeah, the business card kind of info. And also, do you accept like interns or any
Absolutely.
like a free volunteers? Because
Actually,
this is like the bridge champion tribe, you know, the
US champion.
I will tell you, very important for us.
He's very interested in the game theory and also interested in statistics.
Oh.
Yeah, so like game theory, like when you transfer big amount, it's like everybody watch you, like the government watch you, you can impact the the policy and make difference. And also statistically, you can sell your data, your analysis to anybody, right? To any government. So, and you can do it for free with some.
I will tell you this. What's very important for us right now is a push into Asia. So I'm Filipino actually. So I spend a lot of time in Asia. That's why I'm also here in the American Chinese type of events. So it's very important for me personally, to make connections.
Not only China, but also like IRS is very strict on all the foreign accounts, and then even like US citizen account, right? And they require money, right? There's a limitation, everything. So this is create the boundary for the government restrictions. So I think probably you need analysis of yourself for your business model, and also you can just maybe some famous institute every year you can publish that what you studied, right? And the membership, everybody, all the other institutes have to buy your report. So I mean, if you have we would like to,
Sold.
Yeah.
So Online Commerce is actually a MSB, a money service business. We're registered with FinTech. We're also MPL, so we have money transmission licenses, and we're working on 50 states. So that costs many millions of dollars. So we currently have 10 states, and we've applied for all of them already. So yeah, this is regulation very important.
There was a question.
Yes, sir.
So I thought I understood your model earlier when you said you charge 10% versus somebody 20%. Now I heard you say you don't charge.
No.
So what's your business model?
We don't charge 10%. It's we make money on FX spread. That's it.
On what?
FX spread.
I still don't understand.
Foreign exchange spread.
Exchange rate.
Exchange rate. It's a spread.
Oh, so you're
So anywhere from 2 basis points to maybe 190, but not 5,000 basis points.
all right. So you're doing on an exchange rate. Yeah.
No, we cannot be hedge fund. We're not. We're a payment service provider.
So if people are selling the same currency, then there is no money that they make?
No. We'll do it for free.
So you will hedge on, because you will hedge on based on how you make money on spread, because as you said, you offer better exchange rate than the exchange rate for IBM.
I have two answers for you. One is treasury. The other one is it's a secret. Yeah, but I mean, for us, our business model has been proven. We have the largest venture capitalist in Sand Hill Road.
People are afraid of secrets.
Yeah.
Not
No, but for me, it's very important for our users who are companies. They don't need to know these things, right? All they care about is their funds are delivered and they get their shipments. That's all they care about. They don't, they watch us on CNN, which is good because it gives us credibility, but they don't care about the routing. Actually, I do a lot of sales. Less than 1% of 1% of 1% of them ask us about this. They don't. Only finance people do, like you. And I love answering these things. So for us, we started this to empower small and medium businesses. This is not on their mind. What's on their mind right now? How cheap can I get this, and how fast can I get it? All they care, and that's all we do day in, day out. Security, absolutely.
Very, very secure. So you won't. There won't be a chance for other people to hack into the system and.
Well, they will have to hack into NACHA. Do you know what NACHA is?
No.
It's the ACH system of the United States. Because that's where we submit our payments. You have to intercept that file from NACHA. But if you hack the ACH system
Okay, so
in
it's
the
almost
US,
impossible.
I mean, for us, it's an order system. Our payment systems are in code. Our payment systems are the US system. So you would have to hack a bank to get that. That's exactly how I architected it. Or you could have your counterparties back in China. So,
Tell me, what's your company is doing? Maybe customer here.
So
Your company, what's your company is doing?
Your Tora?
Yeah, price.
Oh, yeah. So Tora Corp is for microtransactions. So we don't necessarily specialize for the large transactions that you guys were talking about, because it's 0.1% transaction fee, the cost of humanity per transaction. So if you're buying, a small amount or a cup of coffee and so forth, then you probably want to use it. So that's what and I think that's what you missed before you came. We were talking about that. But as an intro, so I run a company called Privacy Shell. It's a startup factory. So we have several startups that we, grow them from the beginning all the way until they get to, seed or Series A, and we launch them. And once they're launched, then we let them grow. It's kind of like you grow your baby. Once your baby's crawling, you kick him out of the door. So that's basically the model that we have, and we specialize with early stage, and that's what we do.
Are you saying that you sponsor startups?
We launch startups. So if you're, let's say, you're co-founder, you're looking for other co-founders, you want to start a company, we would be somebody that you could be co-founding a company with. So we're like co-founders of many people. But we're only founders in that early stage. We specialize in the early stage, the foundation, validating the actual product, for all the early hypotheses that you have, and product market fit, first set of customers, and then you're on your own, or with the next VCs or whoever is helping you out.
But are you specializing in what area?
It's mainly, we start by building products that privacy and security by design, and that can evolve to become a company. Not always, but it can become a company. So we rely on the blockchain heavily. So we have a company that I mentioned earlier called Fantasy, another one called Crypto Video. And Crypto Video is a video chat that you can have a video chat between two people that is secure. So you don't, you won't fear that somebody can be listening to your video unless they have a camera in your room or they have something in their computer. If they compromise your entire computer, they can be listening to you in your room without you being on the video chat. But if you each have a video chat, let's say you're in China and you need to talk to somebody in Australia or in the United States, and make sure that that video chat is secure, you can use crypto video. So that's what it was built for. But then most of the clients of that turn out to be defense clients. They like it for their agents, and that's an example of something to build. How it does it, it relies on the blockchain with some aspects of it, but not all aspects of it. So we use the blockchain for many reasons, and building products and companies and so on and so forth, and not only for finance.
So
Dora
your
is
company
actually
develop blockchain technology and then help other companies?
Yeah, because blockchain technology can use it for many different reasons, not only finance. So the one company that uses it for finance is called Tora Corp, and Tora Corp specializes in microfinancing. So we have one of the things that we're launching is microlending. For example, we go through a lot of the existing lenders via phones, and we give them money and the ability to lend more money to their users at much less interest rate. The existing interest rate average in the emerging markets is about 45%, which is horrendous. We have a model that we can do it at 3% and make more money and get the other lenders to make more money and users benefit the most.
But can I ask a question? Where did you get the money from?
What's that?
I mean, where did you get the funding from? Where?
We initially fund Privacy Shell, but if we have each and every company gets to the stage of funding, then it starts talking to investors, and then they get the funding. But initially, we fund the entire operation of Privacy Shell, which is basically mainly I fund.
Sorry, I didn't quite get your, I'm a little bit confused here. Like you say you're a company, you have a technology, but also you say you're an incubator, you help other startups.
So we're a startup factory, so we're a company that makes companies.
So there's two different companies he's talking about.
Yeah.
One is called Privacy Shell, which is the startup factory that he's talking about. Now, Total Corp is a company that's actually, he started up separate from that. So does that help you?
Can you say it again?
Yeah, he's talking about two different companies here, right? So Privacy Shell is the startup factory, which has already multiple companies operating under it. Total Corp is the one he's setting up with Total Coin, micro financing, micro payment systems, and so forth. So they're separate operations. They have different business models. Does that answer your question better? Okay, thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Todd is, by the way, the chairman of Total Corp, and Todd was the vice chairman of Intel Security. You guys know Intel? Right, McAfee. So he's very well known in the Bay Area, but I guess.
Yeah, we'll get his card.
So how does your incubator company make money? Do you take a piece of profits?
When we sell the company, so when we pass it on to the Series A folks, sometimes we sell, sometimes we keep our shares to make money at some point in the future. So it's basically, we're literally like the partners with the co-founders. We make money how the co-founders are going to make money. We have founder shares. And if the next stage VCs, which we have a company, next stage VCs, they don't want us, they can buy us out at the valuation that they're suggesting. Then we'll take our money and we'll go. But if they want to allow us to keep our shares, we keep our shares. And sometimes we do our pro rata, sometimes we don't, but we keep our shares and hope that the company is going to grow and make much more money than we make on the Series A.
So I assume you guys are selective. You're selective on who you take in and help to.
Absolutely. It's basically, we have about 41 people right now in Privacy Shell. It's like any relationship. If you're starting a company with your co-founder, you need to be comfortable with that co-founder, they need to be comfortable with you, and then you start growing to more co-founders, 3, 4, 5, and if they are Privacy Shell folks, then that's great. If they are outsiders, that's fine as well. But you need to be comfortable with Privacy Shell, and they need to be comfortable with you. So it's kind of like a relationship.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, my last question. So, can you share your insights about the future development of blockchain or smart contracts, or the impact to the industries?
I did not hear the question.
I mean, just a forecast.
Okay.
Forecast for.
Forecast?
Yeah, forecast for.
Well, I truly think that we are closer to global prosperity than ever. And I don't want to give all credit to blockchain. I think blockchain is a major component in that. There are a lot of cool companies, like all those companies, they're going to help getting there. Total Corp will help getting there. We have another company called Reverify that launches as well, can help get there. There are a lot of other companies that exist that they're trying to replace existing banking. I don't know if it will be there or not. I don't necessarily believe in those that they just try to, that there are much more opportunities in bridging the emerging market to the market that we have today. There are 4 billion people that are unbanked, there are 2 billion people that they have smartphones. I think the future is in that direction. If we can get them to be powered, if we introduce a new problem to the world where the father who's struggling to feed his children by the end of the day will have the new problem to buy a new iPad for his 3-year-old, is a much better problem to all of us, and to them and to each other. So I think that's what we should be heading towards. Global prosperity is, you know.
So I think the current state of blockchain, I think we're post-adolescent, going into young adult. I've just seen the development of blockchain and I've had so much experience. Right now, as an adolescent, you believe you can change the world, right? So blockchain, past 18 months, everyone thought that the blockchain will change the world. And then when you actually graduate and you're done with university, you get hit by, the reality. So the blockchain will have to enter a new stage of maturity. 2017, so 2016 is considered as the semi-cold shower of blockchain. Yeah. Yes. Right now, 2017, blockchains will mature. Right? I was actually talking to one of the Kleiner Perkins investors. And basically, I asked them, why haven't you invested, or what the Sandhill Rose think about the blockchain right now? He says, whenever you invest in certain trends, like clean energy, you plant a lot of seeds, right? And then you wait for the seeds to germinate and to grow. If none of the seeds grow or get acquired, you don't invest again. So their forecast is the same as what I'm saying. They are waiting for companies to enter the next phase.
Good, mature.
Mature.
In the mature stage.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of new entrants that probably have no idea what they're doing. And 2016 was a cold shower, right? R3 wasn't able to raise their 100 or 200, I forget how much they are. They're very good friends of mine.
210 million.
Something like that. They weren't able to raise that much funds, so
They were only able to raise 105.
something like that. They were short. So there is still a lot of optimism. There's too much noise, too much proof of concept. We need to get something commercialized. So my prediction is 2017 is an inflection point. It's an inflection point. So you're a young adult, what career do you want? Want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to work for a...
And I agree with that. I think 2017 is the year where a lot of the breakthrough that's been, cooking for a long time will come out. What we've seen over the last 8 years has been proof points that can get the breakthrough ready to make it through. We haven't seen the breakthrough yet. I mean, it's the penetration of blockchain today, from a finance perspective, is 0.0014% globally. That's tiny. But when you get to the breakthrough would be more like, how many people in the room know what FTP is? Okay, and you know what HTTP? Okay, so between FTP and HTTP, there are a lot of predictions of the web, but the web didn't really make it through until HTTP. And that's what I'm talking about, the actual breakthrough. The breakthrough is about to come, and I think 2017 is the year where we'll see coming.
And maybe the first giant blockchain acquisition. 2017 could be that.
Which industry?
The first giant blockchain acquisition.
Sounds a lot of potential. So any questions from the audience?
I think most people are wondering when is lunch.
Right behind you.
Okay, that's all for today.
Thank you very much.